Hey there, and welcome to the very first episode of Email Marketing Mastery with me, Rishlu Kilian. Everybody calls me Rich. It's just so much easier to pronounce. And yeah, I'm not going to be wasting your time. We're just going to go right into it, and let's head over to the presentation and let's find out if email marketing is in fact dead. All right, so I'm going to give you a very quick overview of myself. I'm not going to give you one of these long-winded introductions, just a very brief why you should be listening to me when it comes to email marketing. Right, so I've been in the IT field since 1990. That's 30 years now, this year 2020. I started working online in 1997, and I launched my own ESP in 2009, which is still running. And then I launched Inbox Jam in February of 2016, which is my email marketing consulting firm, where we consult with all kinds of email marketers and senders, just helping them to get to the inbox in a much better way and engage with their customers. So anyway, let's head straight into the rest of the presentation, the meat of what we're here to watch. And yeah, so the question is, firstly, what is email marketing? So email marketing is used to cultivate relationships, and this is very important. It's used to cultivate relationships with potential customers, keep current customers informed and updated on your brand, encourage customer loyalty, and much more. So, is email marketing dead? We hear this almost every day. Everybody proclaims that email marketing or email is dead. So let's look at some recent statistics and decide together whether it is in fact dead or not. So SendGrid is one of the biggest SMTP email providers out there. And don't worry if you don't understand all of the terminology. As we go through these series of episodes, we're going to delve deeper into the terminology and explain exactly what everything means. So SendGrid posted these stats a little while back, saying that on Black Friday in 2019, they processed 4.1 billion emails. And on Cyber Monday of 2019, they processed 4.2 billion emails, which is 46% more than in 2018. That's a staggering increase in the number of messages that were sent out. And at one stage, they were sending out 315 million emails per hour into inboxes all around the world. So currently there are over 3.9 billion email users, and this figure is predicted to reach 4.371 billion by 2023, which is a growth rate of around 3% yearly. And this this information comes from the Radicati group, which they do a ton of research on the subject, and they use all kinds of data models to figure out where we're at and where we're heading. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, that's just incredible growth. And then of these 3.9 billion email users worldwide, they send an average of 293.6 billion emails per day. I mean, that is just insane numbers we're talking here. Just showing you that growth on a graph, thanks to Statista that provided this graph. This data comes from the Reducti group, and I apologize if I mess up that name. It's not one of the easiest names to say, is it? So anyway, so that's where we're at as far as the just seeing what it looks like on a graph. So a different study shows that 912,000 legitimate emails are sent every single second. That makes 3.2 billion legitimate emails per hour. And this is from Internet Live Stats, also a study done in 2019. Right, so 81% of US online shoppers are more likely to make additional purchases either online or in a store as a result of emails based on previous shopping behaviors and preferences. And that last bit is really important. Based on previous shopping behaviors and preferences. And this comes from Harris Interactive. Then, again, a different report, a different study, more than 60% of customers, those that are 25 or older in particular, would prefer to be contacted by brands via email. And this was done by Adobe, and it was the email use study in the US in 2017. 73% of consumers say email is their preferred marketing channel. 73% of consumers named email in their top 2 out of 8 in terms of preference. And this is from the DMA, which is the Direct Marketing Association, and it's a report or a study that they did in the summer of 2018. I promise you we're not going to be looking at stats the whole time. We're almost at the end of the stats. So 83% of consumers say email is one of their preferred methods of brand communication, with Facebook a far second with 38%, postal mail 27%, and that was by an email addiction study done by Email Monday in 2018. Right. More users age, and this is a very important stat here, because a lot of people that I speak to, they all say that, teenagers don't do email, right? They on Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram and all these different things. But look at this information here. More users ages 12 to 17 are using email than are using either Snapchat or Facebook. Even as monthly Snapchat usage among 12 to 17 years old jumped from 39% in 2014 to 67% in 2017, email adoption grew from 69% to 82% over the same period, and this is for the same demographic. And this is from the Forrester Analytics Email Marketing Forecast 2018 to 2023 report. Right, so, after we've looked at all of that stats, what can we say? I don't know if you guys agree with me on this one, but I want to say that email and email marketing is definitely not dead. It is changing. It's changing in a big way. And so, in the old days, you could do a blast, and I specifically say air blast, blast to a massive list. I despise the term blast, right? You're sending an email campaign to a specific group of subscribers. So blasting to a list of 1 million subscribers and getting an open rate in the 30, 40, 50%, those days are gone. And thank goodness they are, right? People need to realize, email marketers need to realize that email is a one-to-one communication channel. It isn't, even though you're sending one single message to a lot of different people at the same time, you should be writing that email, and you should be sending that email or speaking in that email, using your voice in that email, as if you are sending an email to one other person. You're sending it to that person directly, right? We're talking getting deep and personal with your subscribers, right? At the end of the day, this is what it's all about, right? And we're going to get into a lot more detail on this in additional episodes or later episodes, where we talk about, specifically the subscriber engagement. Engagement is absolute king when it comes to email marketing. The more you can get your subscribers to interact with your email, the better your email is going to be delivering at your mailbox providers, right? So Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, all of these guys, they've got these phenomenal, incredible filters that learn what their individual users do with the messages. And they place your messages based on, firstly, the individual user, and then based on groups of users. The more users do certain things with your messages, the more these mailbox providers decide what to do with your messages. So let's use Gmail as an example. If you're sending a message to, let's say, 100 Gmail users, and just a few of them actually open up that message and do something, click a link, file the message, reply to the message, stuff like that, those users will be seeing those messages more and more in their inbox. Let's say that some of the other users, they don't open the message, they just delete it. That's a very bad indicator. So Gmail, the last time I spoke to people in the industry that's really in the know with these things, they said Google or Gmail has over 200 distinct indicators that they look at for every single message. The days of just having a good IP reputation or a good domain reputation when it comes to sending, those days are fading. It's still important, but it's not nearly as important as it used to be. excuse me. Right now, it is all about engagement. It is all about what your subscribers are actually doing with your email messages. Anyway, that we're going to leave. We're going to get into a lot more detail in one of the later episodes on this. So let's jump back to the presentation. Let's go through a couple of more things quickly here. Right, so we already said email marketing is definitely not dead. We've seen that very clearly proven through the stats that I've provided to you. Right, but email is changing. Right. One of the key things, more email is read on mobile than on desktop email clients, right? 61.9% of email opens occurred on mobile, while only 9.8% on desktop. Now, these are desktop email clients, and 28.3% in a webmail client. And this was from a study by Adestra that looked at the top 10 email clients. This is a fun one. I absolutely love this slide, right? So, email marketing is the hot new channel according to the Wall Street Journal, one of the most respected newspapers in the world, right? So let's look back at 2009, and this is a really fun, right? So 2009, Wall Street Journal did an article, and they said, why email no longer rules? And then exactly 10 years later, the hot new channel for reaching real people, email. Wow, what do you know, right? The few of us, well, not the few of us, there's many of us in this industry that has been around for a long time. We all know email is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to be around for a very, very long time. Changing? Yes. Getting more interesting and exciting and interactive? Yes. Dying? Definitely not. All right. Before we head into that next slide, let me just grab a quick sip of water here, and I'll move myself out so you don't need to listen to me downing some water here. All right, back with you. Right, so 61% of companies generate more than 10% of sales from email, right? And this is from a study by consultancy called Email Marketing Census, and this was done in 2018. DMA research puts the ROI, the return on investment, of email marketing in 2018 at $32.28. Now, just to clear that up, that means for every single dollar that you spend on email marketing, you could be making back $32.28. And they also say that's better than any other direct marketing channel and up from $30.03 the year before. And this is from the DMA in the UK, from a report called Marketer Email Tracker. So, what about all the social sites like Twitter, LinkedIn, etc.? And of course, the ultimate email killer, Slack. Let's have a look at some fun things there. Right, so this is an email that I actually took a screenshot of today from none other than Twitter. What is Twitter doing here? They are engaging with me. They are trying to get me to come back to their site. How is this email any different from a sales email from Amazon or from any other retailer that you're buying things from, or from a service that you're using? They're still sending email, right? A lot of people said, oh no, you know, with Twitter around, email has become irrelevant. You can reach all of these people on Twitter. Well, you know, the stats don't lie when it comes to that. And the fact that they are sending email themselves is showing us that they too believe that email is very, very important for their business. Here's another one, also from Twitter. This was done. This email was yesterday. Again, just a different angle, just a different way of trying me to come back to their site and engage with their application. Because what happens? I go to their site, I see tweets, and what I also see promoted tweets. I see adverts running on their site. That's where they make their money, right? So this email, even though it looks innocent and it looks like they're trying to just provide me with great information, tell me that there's stuff waiting for me to see. All they're trying to do is get me back on their site so they can advertise to me and they can make money from selling those ads. All right, let's move along. LinkedIn. Same thing. People said, LinkedIn has got in-message and you can send messages on LinkedIn and it's a professional network. But what is LinkedIn doing? Exactly the same thing. They're trying to get me to come to this site. They're telling me, look, you've missed all of these things going on in your LinkedIn account since the last time that you logged in. So come back and come check what's happening here. And again, what does LinkedIn do? They show me ads. Those ads are paid for by companies making LinkedIn money. Plain and simple. All right, let's move on to the next one. Again, a different angle from a LinkedIn message. Very similar. Here's some people on our LinkedIn network that you may know, right? You've got these things in common. Come check it out. Come back to LinkedIn. It's at the end of the day, they're all using email effectively at the end of the day for the same thing. This is, even though a lot of people would argue that this is a transactional message, this is not a transactional message. This is a marketing message. This is trying to get me back on their site so that they can spend all of the ad money that they're being paid to display ads. Plain and simple. All right. Slack. Oh, I love this. And don't get me wrong, I love Slack. Slack is a phenomenal application. I use it myself in my company. All my staff are on Slack. This is the way that we communicate, quick messages back and forth. This is what we do, right? But I love the fact that it says here, Slack replaces email inside your company. Now, I promise you, this message has changed in recent times, right? Previously, it was something along the lines of Slack kills email or Slack replaces email, not inside your company. This, I think, they added fairly recently. But now, what happens when you click on Try Slack? What's the very first thing they ask you? Enter your email address. Right. I don't know about you guys, but I personally, I think that is freaking hysterical, right? This is the email killer. Please give us your email address. And let's look at what they do with your email address. They send you messages to get you back into Slack. Now, I will be fair here to Slack, right? Slack doesn't advertise inside of the Slack application. It's free of use for most companies, but if you want some additional features, you want to keep messages, you've got to pay. And they do remind you of that on a fairly regular basis. So, yes, they don't go as far as LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, bringing you back to your site, to their site, so they can show you ads. But at the end of the day, they're still building rapport. They're building trust and a relationship with the people that's using their platform. Anyway, there we go. That's it. That is, now before I do the last two slides, I promise you that's the end of the information. Let me head back over to the live channel here. If you've got any questions, any comments, you can pop it in the comment section. I know I'm broadcasting on Facebook right now, but I'm using an application to do that. And hopefully I should be seeing the comments popping up if there are any comments that's going to come in. On the very last slide, there's an email address if you have any questions, any comments that you don't want to post in a public forum, and you wanted to get it straight to me. You wanted us to have a look at those questions and answer those questions on these live shows. Then please send us the email. I'll give you that email address in just 1 minute. We're going to try and do these shows, or the goal is to do the show every single week on a Thursday at exactly the same time that we just did. This show or this first episode was done only on Facebook. Starting next week Thursday, we'll be live casting to both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And so yeah, this recording is going onto YouTube as well. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Put on those notifications so you get notified whenever there's a new episode that's been uploaded. Or come join us live. I'd love to have you live on here. I'd love to answer your questions live. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you. And I will see you again next week. And next week, we will be talking about the email marketing rules permit. I wanted to call this the email marketing rules or legal trifecta. And I tried a couple of different names. And uh, many of them just didn't sit right with me. So I said, we're going to talk about the email marketing rules pyramid. And there's three portions to it, or three distinct sections to it. And we're going to go into a lot of detail next week on that, and how it all fits together, and why that's important to know. So yeah, next week, Thursday, exactly the same time. As I said, any questions, there is the email address, emm@inboxjam.com. And again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next week, Thursday.